the North Cat, baby, I'm a boss. Carolina barbecue sauce with the slaw. I'm the safe, the cellar, and the vault. I'm the best, the effect, and the cause. I'm the law.
Here we go. I'm just kind of curious to see, are we going to see any little small skirmishes happening? Naturally, Georgia Pool looks like VSG might be making their way over towards north, but they're kind of riding that line right now. I think that they might, are they maybe looking towards crates?
Well, this is, I'm curious to see how they're going to play this, because it looks like the Arrow Wolves have opted to go to North George this time, that their path is leading that way. So you're right, maybe VSG is going to have to go crates. NIP has the apartments in the hospital area secured, I believe. It looks like that's going to be kind of the spread we're seeing here. Juanita might be going to those buildings by the bridge there to control that. Some other interesting stuff. Entis Force is really doing something weird here. They're spread out all around, like ruins and the other buildings around the school and things. That's interesting.
But we got Leo right over here next to Duckman's. Airwolves getting forced out and away, and oh, that's gonna suck for Yak as he just gets run over at the start of it by Brazilian Crusaders. On the other side of this, look at this. VSG trying to get more and more control over this Georgia Pool area. A lot of these teams are going to opt into trying to play as close towards the top of the hill as they can, and that's leading to some very interesting fights. As now we're over here with Ints looking towards Envy, who's jumped out of a couple of their vehicles, but right up next to him, Moody's going to get taken down and flushed out. Pat caps off on this other angle. Grenades are starting to rain down next to him. Rustin Marsh trying to take a couple of shots back over to him, and yeah, this is not working out for Envy.
Wow, Envy getting absolutely blown up here by the members of Ents, who had set up. This is to the west of the lumber yard here, so a nice job by them taking down two members of Envy. We're jumping over with 4 a.m., who is in a skirmish here with the Crusaders. It looks like ZG is keen to try to push up here. He's got Captain on his western flank. BB taking some shots at the other surviving members of Envy. Venerated takes a little bit of damage, but KR does have to reload.
I gotta say, the western side of lumber yard is just a bloodbath right now. You can see 4 a.m. still looking back over towards the Crusaders. Everybody just playing around whatever cover piece that they can find. 4 a.m. is going to take a couple of shots back over at Rogi. Does manage to take him down. Captain still looking for the other members. Looks like one FPS managed to get a little bit of shots back over this direction, but ZGG just looking back down, and it is just turning out so terribly for Crusaders. They just have nowhere to go. They're using smokes, just trying to get some type of footing underneath of them, but there's just, it's just nowhere to, nothing can happen right now. It's just so many different angles.
A really nice surround here by 4 a.m. Captain doing a good job getting into position there on the northwestern flank, being very patient. He knew that he had time. There weren't any other teams around them, and they were able to get the nice little trap here onto the Crusaders. They do manage to get the res here onto Rusty Zero, who's trying to make his way out. Rogi, though, he's pretty much alone on an island. He's probably dead to res. Nice. Oh, a nice grenade from Forever.
Forever connecting with this. ZGG just making his way further down into it. Zero's right to the side of ZGG as they continue this push further and further down. Crusaders does manage to retreat back to a little bit of cover, but I think that 4AM isn't aware about the fact that everybody is dead inside of that smoke and having to use all their grenades on this. I don't think that they've managed to spot the reposition coming out of Crusaders yet, as they're still just getting baited into using so many grenades on these smokes.
Yeah, this is a lot of utility coming out here from 4 a.m. We'll see if they make it into the later part of the game, if that becomes a factor. They're trying to push onto the Crusaders, but the Crusaders have retreated into prison, so we'll see if 4 a.m. continues that push. NIP here, in the meantime, trying to box out Tempo Storm on the eastern side of the circle here. Tempo Storm, they've got a couple members up inside of that yellow house. NIP here on the edge of the circle, moving up now a little bit onto the hill, trying to get towards the edge of the circle, which has now shown itself. Our next circle.
This is a rough circle, especially with that field that's right just to the northeast of Milta. You've got that hill right around where Arrow Wolves are at. Depending on how these shifts come into play, it could get really, really dangerous for a lot of these teams. And IP right on the edge of it, just going to go ahead and push right up next to Lumberyard, get control over that. Ints just on the other side of Lumberyard, but you can see it's OMG, MP5, A Freak of Freaks, Fatal, really 17. A lot of these guys are going to have to do some really interesting rotations. Finally, the circle not favorable for BBs on a little bit of a rotation.
Yeah, BB's here making their way, trying to get into those buildings on the western corner there. A Freak of Freaks Fatal was keen on those as well, so it looks like there might be a bit of a skirmish. In the meantime, Tempo Storm is, okay, we've got a big battle here between VSG and Windstrike. They're pushing in onto Dangche. Starlord and Juanita trying to come up to protect him. Dangche's all alone in this house.
VSG must have pissed off some of these European teams as they are just gunning for them all over the place. Dangche gets taken down and flushed. Starlord was moving forward, trying to provide a little bit of cover, but isn't a bad spot. Now grenades are starting to rain back through on the other side of it. We do have Drosky that is down on fire at the time, but a grenade comes back over from Nuki as well. A little bit of damage. So Juanita's trying to take some shots back over to Nuki. Does manage to get the flush out, but that's going to be VSG eliminated first.
Back-to-back games for VSG, getting eliminated in 16th place. In the meantime, Envy does go down in 15th, but this has not been a good start to our angle for VSG.
But BB hears this, and it seems like they want to get a part of this fight, slowly making their way back over there as now Windstrike's just trying to regroup at this point. No fear coming out from them, as I think that they're wanting to take this fight, going for the breach. With the distraction, they're being able to just walk back up over into it, but it's going to be teammate that does manage to see him, but it does not matter as BB just has the numbers back behind him. Long-range shots coming out from Airwolves and 7 on the other side of this, and it's just starting to turn into a bloodbath over here at Milta.
Yeah, BB being extremely aggressive. They didn't have all 4 members. It looks like they're going to lose almost everyone. They've lost 2 so far that has pushed down with them. Lively is still alive for them, way up on the northwestern side, so this was kind of an interesting decision here by BB, only committing to this push with 3 members, completely split about 300 meters apart from their 4th member.
It feels like they were trying to capitalize on the damage that just happened in the last fight and just did not get there fast enough. So now back on the other side of it, you can see Crusaders making their way up into NIP territory, and they are biting off a couple of bullets. As you can see, it's going to be Rest0 just trying to make it over to cover and cannot do it. Some nice shots coming out from Vard there and Gaxi to go ahead and finish them out.
You know, I want to talk about NIP real quick. 3 members of their team average over 240 damage around in their league. They are an extremely aggressive team and do a lot of damage. So it's not surprising to see them rack up a lot of kills here.
Speaking of aggression teams, we've got 4AM that's walking right up next to Ints, but it's going to be a nice grenade coming out from Squeaky. Gets the down onto ZGG. So now smoke's coming out from 4AM, just trying to figure out what's going on around them. Get a little bit more information. Captain's looking back up to the other side. Seems to have an idea on where Squeaky might be at. Rustin Morrow's got a nice angle off to the side. So a lot of utility being burned very early into this. And look at the grenades that are just starting to land in the mixed up 4AM, forcing them right into the funnel of Squeaky, who is just waiting, just trying to pick up anything he can off of it. And this is just coming apart at the seams for 4AM. There is no cover, nowhere for them to go. Only the smokes are their only respite for what is happening with Ints.
Great defense here by Ents, but now they've got NIP coming up on the side here. Gaxi gets the knocks onto Mikaz. He has to back off a little bit to heal, but this could be a little bit dangerous here. Ents playing very well, but who knows how this could go. And the BB's getting some kills in the background, but Vard looking to get the Captain. He does get that kill on the Captain. Trifelli as well here from Vard.
Nice shots coming out from Vard as they are moving out of the safe zone, making their way, just going to gatekeep out 2 very strong teams. Take them out while they're fighting each other. Rustin Morrow's trying to slowly make his way back up. Maybe seeing if he can get up with Trifelli, but it looks like it's not. Oh yeah, should be able to get it off of this angle. I thought that maybe there might be a push coming back from the other side. Forever is just hanging out inside the shack right now at the top of that tower. Not going to move at all.
Yeah, Forever the last man standing here for 4AM. NIP, the Ninjas in Pyjamas. Here come the grenades from them. We've got a battle going on here between AG and the Arrow Wolves. Southwestern Asian teams fighting. Ents trying to rotate around here. OMG fighting Fatal in the background as well. Maybe getting a little revenge. Datmash looking for an attack. Oh, nice shooting here from Hanboya.
Nice shots coming out from Armory Gaming. These guys are on a roll today. They're just running their way through this. Great shots coming out from everybody on Armory Gaming. But back on this other fight, you can see Forever trapped outside in the blue. Meanwhile, we are getting the reses up for Ints on the other side of it. Gaxi's still looking back over for Forever, maybe trying to get some kills off of it. But as he looks away, is whenever Forever makes his run, is he going to be able to sneak up back behind him? He's just dropped down onto his belly, trying to crawl, maybe get a couple of meds. This blue hurts, though, and I think we might be seeing the end of Forever there. There's just nowhere for him to go. He does step up and take some shots over at Gaxi, at least being a thorn in their side before he goes down.
Yeah, he's going to try to heal up here, but he is certainly in a lot of trouble. This is basically the end for Forever. He's got 3 more first aid kits, but NIP, I don't think they're going to let him get away with this. In the background, in the meantime, Armory did get wiped out in 12th place. They had a nice push, but they got pushed up by a couple other teams. AFF down to 2 members here. They've got 17 Gaming on top of them, and they're trying to protect this garage, but I think 17 might be trying to push onto them.
AFF seems to be kind of caught up on the outside of it. 17 wants to go for a little bit more control around him, at least take out the vehicles, but kind of comfortable in the position that they're looking at. Still trying to think, okay, do we do the jump down? It looks like it's going to be a synchronated drop, and just goes for the angle on it. But look at this. In was just holding a nice angle onto it. Lambu steps up, and 17 Gaming gets eliminated off of an aggressive push.
My goodness, NN is still up. Lambu with the clutch right behind NN's clutch. Really great defense from Afrika Freaks Fatal. NN has absolutely been on point today. He has been landing a ton of shots. All the members of Afrika Freaks Fatal have been playing very, very well. The circle moves up to the northeast, and this is a nice circle for the other Korean team, Entis Force.
Grenade goes a little bit awry as now we can see MP5 playing around it. And we talked about these fields right over here next to Gatka. We've got BB and MP5. They're taking a couple of shots at each other, but there is nowhere for them to go as they're going to have to cross a wide open field. OMG already set and waiting for them. Tempo Storm still alive in the circle as well, but been very quiet. Haven't bumped into too many different people. Also might have an angle back over onto either one of these teams when they're forced to rotate. But nice grenade coming out from Brazilian. Going to go ahead and drop down Leo, and you can see everybody running back down. Okay, we've got to go ahead and get the res onto this. Grenade now coming back over right next to Brazilian, so taking a couple of shots back over onto this. He is a one-man wrecking crew. He's buying so much time, but here comes the blue kicking in now, and this is going to hurt. This is a late game circle. Brazilian has nowhere to go, but neither does MP5. They're just trying to at least get a kill off of this before they have to make this terrible run.
Yeah, the bad news for MP5 is they've got OMG up ahead of them on the southeast corner of the circle. They're trying to get Brazilian off their back so they don't have to worry about him, but the blue is here. Spartan is taking some damage from it now. Brazilian's just opted to sit, heal up, maybe try to get as many placement points as he can. AFF has moved up here onto the southern flank of NIP, who are starting to throw some grenades, seeing if they can catch something onto AFF.
So here we go. We've got NIP off on one angle. Freaka Freaks taking a couple of shots for it. It's just bouncing back and forth between the trees, using cover points off of it. These rocks that you can see NIP playing around are very, very strong. You can get a lot of really neat angles off of them. Grenades rolling just a touch too short to connect with NN. So with this, MP5 is actually starting to make their push just to the south of this, something that Freaka Freaks needs to keep an eye on. Otherwise, they might have a squad pop up right next to them. They're really contested up with NIP at the time, as NIP is just getting more and more control over the circle.
Yeah, NIP trying to control the entire top half of the circle here. They've got all four members up still, putting some shots down onto MP5. MP5 took a little damage from OMG as they were coming in, and now, I mean, NIP has the top of the circle. They've got all this cover, room to maneuver. There's two crates up there as well, so there is a lot going their way.
Miss You peeks up around that hill and sees all the members of OMG and is like, okay, I'm not going to go that way. I got to say, I'm surprised that he managed to make this cross. That push over from Milta is very, very dangerous. So Miss You taking a little bit of damage, just still trying to survive for as long as he can. We still have 6 teams with 16 alive at the point, but you can see Tempo Storm has a nice angle back over towards OMG has just got Miss You locked in. There is nowhere for him to go.
No, he is in a very, very, very difficult position here. Cloud's just trying to see if he can land something through the grass, and Miss You's just going to go down to the circle there, so that would be MP5 going out in 6th place.
New circle pops, and you can see it is right on top of OMG. Force also inside the circle, as well as Tempo Storm. Afrika Freaks, Fatal, and NIP right up next to each other. Going to have to make their push back down. Lambu taking a lot of damage from Bard. He's going to go ahead and get down inside of this exchange. Also, spin back over to NN. Nice shots coming out from Bard as he managed to pick up a double and gets a clear positioning now that they can make a little bit of a push back over towards OMG.
8 kills here for NIP. They're making a statement here on Erangel. They're playing very, very well so far. Tempo Storm in a battle here with OMG. Sharky takes a little bit of damage, backing off and healing. Nothing too substantial there. OMG trying to cut off NIP here. In the meantime, and Entis Force just trying to make this as long as they can in the Wizard Hut here on the eastern edge.
Tempo Storm is doing a lot of distraction. That's allowed NIP to walk right up behind OMG. That backside is their weak point, but you can see it's spinning back around. It's actually going to be Tempo Storm taking a couple of shots back over towards NIP as well. They've got 10 kills at the time, and there are so many people down in front of them. OMG's, this is their weak angle, but you can see NIP just cannot push down. They're being protected by Tempo Storm right now.
Yeah, Tempo Storm here absolutely keeping NIP from pushing in and trying to finish off these knocks onto OMG. Getting a little bit of help here from the American team is the Chinese. And NIP, it looks like they're going to try to have to back off a little bit. They're moving back up the hill because there's just not a really good angle for them to take to get onto OMG.
There is no clear path. And you can see that Force has got an angle back over towards NIP, Tempo Storm as well. Everybody's just playing along the edges. OMG's managing to get a little bit of a regroup, but grenades are just landing down right next to him. And that's actually so many members of just getting destroyed by grenades from NIP. They're saying, okay, we can't walk down the hill to shoot you, so we'll just rain these grenades down. Lion KK, the last member, and you can see Gaxi just makes the shot, and that is OMG just down and out.
Incredible reposition here from NIP to knock out OMG. Entis Force, though, doing some damage now. They do get the kill on Devard. Entis Force been hiding, not making a lot of noise, and now they're taking advantage of this situation. Gaxi taking quite a bit of damage as well. So Sungjang and Indigo still up here for Force, throwing down some smokes around the Wizard Tower.
So here we go. 2 members of NIP still alive. 2 members of Force. Tempo Storm still playing back down towards the south with 3 members alive. New circle is going to pop, and it's going to move just closer towards the center, down towards the south. Everybody's got to do a little bit of a move. Gaxi's kind of inside the circle, 1 member of Force as well. So now it's all about repositioning, and everybody's going to be using these tree trunks, just trying to survive. But look, Tempo Storm heard the shots coming up from Force. They're thinking about making a push back up behind him at this point. They're not necessarily aware of how many are in each squad are alive. Keep in mind, we've got the eye in the sky. We know this. Tempo Storm just knows that there are 4 alive. They have to assume a couple of members of NIP could be up on this other angle. So with this, NIP now moving back down to where OMG was at. A little bit of damage coming over to NBS, but he managed to make it to safety.
Yeah, Sungjang able to land a couple shots onto him, but he is able to get behind that rock and heal up your boy Dre, throwing out some grenades. That first one does not connect. The next one coming out way too far from Sungjang there, but Tempo Storm, yeah, they look eager to push up onto Entis Force's position here.
This is a dangerous angle, but you got to remember, you can get up on top of those rocks. If Zampa chooses to do that, which is what he's looking to do, he might be able to come up right on top of Force. How are we going to see this play out? Indigo's way back in the back. Might have a nice angle onto this as well. Your boy Dre is trying to push around the outside, just get some type of information. Did we see a grenade go over the side? Yes, I do believe we did. Does not connect with Force, though. Just look, waiting on this angle. Sharky's just going to go ahead and move a little bit further north, rotate up and around, see if maybe he can get a nice sight line back onto this, as everything from Force is just beat in on this angle. This has kind of allowed NIP to get on a nice reposition onto it. A little bit of damage out coming out of Force as the grenades are now raining right next to him. Indigo, is he going to see this? Nothing really connects. Zampa knows exactly where the trap's going to be sprung from. Takes the shots, but he does go down from Gaxi on another angle off of this. Indigo still looking back over towards Tempo, but it's going to be everybody that is just looking back over at Tempo at the time. NIP getting a little bit of shots as well. Indigo's going to go out for the grenade, seeing if maybe he can get a finish off onto this, slowly creeping forward. Sharky goes down and gets flushed out to blue. Really, it's just your boy Dre, the last one alive. Grenade's going to land right back behind him. He's got to move forward, but Indigo goes down inside of the exchange as well. So it's just going to be your boy Dre left with the last 2 members of NIP who have separated out on 2 different angles. You can see the grenades are coming down, landing right up next to your boy Dre as we are now in phase 9. It's going to be everything making its way back towards the center. Your boy Dre just trying to hit what shots he can up on top of these rocks, trying to get a little bit of loot out of Zampa, looking back down towards that hillside. He knows he needs to get at least one of them down. Does spot NBS on the rotation, but NBS sees him as well. A couple of shots going back and forth, and every single time your boy Dre takes more damage, it makes his job so much harder. NBS looking back up with the mini, makes the switch back over to the AR. Your boy Dre is just running down to meet him. Is he going to get spotted out? And yes, NBS just looks back up that hillside, and that's going to be NIP taking a 15-round game.
Yeah, NIP having another strong game here on Erangel. Weren't able to quite close it out in game number 4. Here in game number 5, they're able to get it done with another big kill count. They are having a huge games, 4 and 5 so far.
Gaxi, 7 kills. Good Lord, man. Great showing coming out of him. Vard coming back with 5 back behind that. Miraku with 2 and NBS with 1. Tempo Storm, we've got Sharky. Not necessarily the highest kill game coming through there. They've got 3, 2, and 1.